Okay, so the site's looking great, and what I want to take time to do now is to style this sidebar. And particularly, we're going to start up top here. And whenever you're writing a blog, obviously you want people to read it. Well, you may not, but most people do. So it's common practice to have a subscribe section up here in the top right. If you look at major blogs, you'll see subscribe sections. So we got one up here in the top right. And let's see. Yep, subscribe up here in the top right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create one of these sections here today. Let's get to work. So to start off, first off, I want this sidebar to be a little wider. Right now it's pretty thin. And the reason is, if we go over here and look at our code, we can see that, okay, so the blog main section is 8 columns, or 2/3 of the page. And the blog sidebar section is only 3 columns with 1 column offset. So what that means is there's a column of width right here of blank space here, and we want to capitalize on that blank space here. So take away this offset, and let's go ahead and put this 4. So now 8 plus 4 is 12, so that's perfect. We're covering the whole container. And it's a little too close over here for my liking. So let's look at this. At the blog page, we have container, we have the row, all right, then you have the 8 and the 4 blog sidebar right here. So this blog sidebar, let's go ahead and give it a padding to the left of 30 pixels. You can do margin since we have no, border or anything, but let's just do padding left 30 pixels. If it comes into play later, we may have to change that. All right, so do we have blog sidebar anywhere? No, wrong document. So go over here to the right. You can Command F on PC or Mac, Control F on PC. And all right, we don't have blog sidebar. So we're going to have to create one right here. Dot blog sidebar. And let's give it a padding left of 30 pixels. So all is well here. Beautiful. And then we're going to work on this about section right here, which we're going to change into a subscribe. Because later we'll create an about page. So we have sidebar module inset. So we want to work on this sidebar module inset. I want to change the padding to 15 pixels. I like the background color as it is, gives a pop from the page, and we want people to see that when they come to the site, because we want people to want to click in there and give us their email address. And border radius is good. One thing I do want to give it is a border, and let's be bold. Let's give it 5 pixels. Let's do dashed, and let's give it the same as this green up here. So remember from earlier, it's E or 2ECC71. Nice. So that pops out from the page. So let's go ahead and copy all this. We have this sidebar module inset right here. Oops. Indent these 3 lines. Reload the page. Looks great. All right, now I want to update this information here. So what I wanted to say is, instead of about, I wanted to say something like what you're reading, go VIP. All right, and we'll have this section say something like join today to receive instant updates, free learning resources, and a bunch of other awesome stuff. By the way, I hate spam, so don't worry about receiving any of that from me. Just let them know that you're not going to spam them with a bunch of stuff. Let's save that. Let's see how it looks here. Okay, so I want to get this top here on the same line. And we're not going to have any other div on this page look anything like this. It's just going to be this subscribe section. So let's go ahead and create a, let's also give this div with the sidebar module inset an ID of, let's say, subscribe box. All right, so now we can come over here, and once again, you know how I am. So I'm going to spread this out. Subscribe box we can do over here now, and actually I kind of like, there's one font I like, and it's called Roboto Condensed, and you can get it from Google Fonts. So I see Roboto down there, not Roboto Condensed. Let's search for it over here on the right. There we go. So let's add this to our collection, use it, and we'll just need this 400. We don't need anything crazy. And let's go ahead and add it to our HTML over here. You're used to this by now. Put it right underneath here. And I'm just going to change this to include Google Fonts. All right, so save that. Now, let's reload this page over here because now we have it included, and we can start to mess with this H4 here. So I want to do font family Roboto Condensed. Nice. Let's make that font size a little bigger. There we go. And the color's a little harsh, so let's not go as dark. There we go. And one last thing is this thing called text align. You know, we've done to the left, which is standard. All this is aligned to the left, of course. We've done centered before. Let's do this new one. It's called justify. And basically, you know, it kind of makes it go all the way to the left and the right. And I like the way that looks. So let's go ahead and grab that. And this is just going to be for that H4 that's inside our div with an ID of subscribe box. So let's just say for H4s in here. And let's paste all this. Indent it. Make sure it still looks the same. Beautiful. I like the way that looks. And looks like there's a little more, doesn't quite go to the edge. There's a little more spacing over here to the right. So let's look at this. And what I want to do is I want to say padding, nope, just padding. 15 pixels, 20 pixels. All right, now it looks like it's a little more in the center there. Yep, goes to the next line if we do that. So let's just keep it at 15 pixels by 20 pixels. And let's go over here. Beautiful. Now let's work on this paragraph here. And a couple things I want to do is, first off, I want to increase the line height. So we're going to give it 1.5 line height. Make the lines a little bit bigger. And then there's this cool thing going on now that's new. It's called text rendering. And I want to optimize for legibility. So make it easier to read. See how it just spaces it enough? And don't worry for this weirdness over here to the right, because we're about to Let me see something actually. What's the font size on this? We're about to put in some more, form elements for where they put their email and a button for submit. What is the font size? 16? That's a little bit too much. Huh? I kind of like 15 though. Yeah, I like that 15. However, I'm going to put that as the subscribe box natural font size. So we got subscribe box, and the paragraph in there is going to have this styling. And then let's say font size 15 pixels. Very nice, very nice. And now we need to add a form so that people can put in their email address. So we're over here in CSS, we're over here in Bootstrap, under the CSS page, and we're going to look for forms. And we've done this before, remember? Did this when we were finishing up the landing/tower page or site that we did in the first set of lessons. So really all we need, we'll start off with this form and then just one form group, just this top form group. This is a form group. And we'll copy that. And of course we're going to have to close it with an ending or closing form tag. So what we're going to do is we'll come down here. We'll put it right below this paragraph here because that's where we want it on the page. And we're going to have it, we need to close it, remember? All right, so let's see what this does. All right, so I don't want this email address right there, so we can just take out that label. Very nice. I do want a little bit more padding above it. So let's say form group, margin top, 15 pixels. Nice. That's good spacing there. And what was that? We could do, we can do subscribe box dot form group, margin top 15 pixels. Why did that not work? Oh, from, not form. Sorry about that. All right. Nice. Now it works. And then all we need now is this nice little submit button here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it inside of a paragraph so that we can easily center it. And let's say join for free. Change that to that. And these are inline elements, so we can do text align on that paragraph there, and we can, let's just go ahead and do that. Actually, I'll show you so you can see the difference. So we have that. Very nice. And what I want is I want it to be centered. So what we can do is we can just create like a universal, well, first of all, just to show you. All right, so it's centered. And what we can do is we can create a universal class for center. So let's go over here and say paragraph class. Well, I say universal. Something that we can use again throughout the site, because this might be a common thing you come across, is that you want the text align centered. So we'll just come down here at the very bottom, say site wide styling. You know, you might use this center a lot. So class of center, text align center. And now that I'm looking at that, I was wondering why there's no spacing in between the button and the email form group right here. And I realized it's because I put the paragraph inside the form group. So what I want to do is cut this paragraph. And we're going to put it below the div. It's still in this form, but it's below the div there. And all right, so we have a nice little spacing there. Then I also want to make this button pop out. So I want to make it orange, much like up here. And the closest thing to that in Bootstrap, buttons, the warning. So button warning. So let's go over here and change this to from button default to button warning. Reload the page. Very nice. And let's make that pop a little more with a little darker color, one that's the same as up here. So what we're going to do is we are going to inspect the element here. And we're going to change the background color to, I think it was 39C12. Is that right? Yep, F39C12. So we'll go there. F39C12. And I also want to do a text transform of uppercase. Get a little more attention. And I want to give it a little bit of spacing. So let's say margin top, 10 pixels. Margin bottom, oops, sorry about that. Margin bottom, 10 pixels. Nice. That looks great. All right, so it's a button warning class, and it's in the subscribe box. So let's just keep this nice and simple as we've been doing. Subscribe box dot button warning. And we're going to grab all this, as well as, let's do that background color before I forget, F39. Oh, saved it for us. C. Nice. And then paste all this. Let's reload the page here. Awesome, that looks good. We do have one problem. Whenever it's hovering, it's not really changing. And I'd like to have a little effect so our users can see. They go to click it. So let's see what it was supposed to be. Go ahead and grab what it originally was since it was lighter. We're kind of switching here from what it was when it was regular and then hover, and then now what it was when it's regular and hover. So let's go ahead and grab this background color. Actually, let's keep it there. Let's grab this, and we've done this before. You've seen this. And then we're gonna, when it hovers, we want it to have a background color of, where was it? Right here. Nice. Did we do that over here? No, we did not. Ah, okay. So let's hover it. Yep, we forgot to do that over here. So blog post meta button danger. Let's come over here and find it. So I copied it and I'm pasting it down here to find it. There it is. Let's go right below there, paste it, and let's give it a hover with a background color of, what was it? Let's see what that looks like. Okay, nice. All right, so we have all the styling set up, and next I will show you, or we will go together and create this as a MailChimp form, similar to what we did in an earlier lesson, but a little bit more complex.